Hey, I'm Sean,
Hi, and I'm Shannon.
and we're the host of Wifey and Baby Mama. Happy Thursday, family. Welcome back. Welcome back. Your favorite two
Yes.
hosts with the most are flying solo tonight. We know you guys have been
Yes.
spoiled with guests, and I'm not going to lie. I was loving it, Shannon. Season three
Me
was the littest
too.
yet.
Me too.
But
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
week, next week, this season will come to an end. So tonight is our last official episode. So we decided to run it alone so we can give um, you guys the soundest advice possible to ponder until next season. Now, of course, in true
Mhm.
wifey and baby mama style, we'll have a traditional so long episode next Thursday where we give you our farewell stats and updates and our plans for the break and some good old fashioned well wishes and love. But we both
Yeah.
agreed, yeah, that tonight's topic would be best to present for our grand finale because we want to end this season like we did the last one, encouraging you all to go higher. And this topic
Hmm.
help us arrive, to this secure, peaceful, loving place we are in life. So we fittingly call it even season. And for
Yes.
clarity, that's even, EVEN season. I need you all to catch that now because until you enter that season in your life, you will not win. You see, we don't have a guest, Shannon. I'll
Hmm.
get to preaching, but go ahead, get step in now, because I get to
No, go
going.
ahead. Go ahead. Preach, preach. Say
No,
on,
seriously.
as my husband says, say on,
Say
say on.
on, say on. No, we want you guys to really catch that because until we're equally yoked, and like we said, it's not just in relationships. All jokes aside, you gotta, you know, I gotta put my comedy in there. But and
Hmm.
I'm a little miswired, Shannon, when I don't have a guest to keep me calm. But seriously, we need you all to hear this. It's time out for getting more than what you're giving, and time out for giving more than you're receiving, on a constant basis in love,
Right.
marriage, family, friendship, even a career. Sure, now, sometimes, Shannon, the scales are unintentionally imbalanced. We
Right.
say
Oh
that all
yeah.
the time. Yeah, we say that all
Hmm.
the time. But some days you won't get what you put in, especially in a
Hmm.
relationship. That's just the way the
Yeah.
ball bounces on certain days or even
Exactly.
years. So,
Yeah, as we know, right. Things ebb and flow, just like a river, just like life. They ebb and flow. A good example for me, which when I lost my father, I wasn't good for 2 years for anybody, not even my husband, so he
wow.
had to be the the everything, He wasn't getting
Mhm.
anything from me. I couldn't give him jack crap because I didn't want to live. I didn't want to be here. I didn't know how to function, so he had to step in and do it all. And thankfully, he didn't walk away and say, "Wait a minute, this girl is so crazy." Because some nights I know he slept with one eye open because he didn't know what I was
Right.
going to do. Um,
Right.
so yeah, but overall, we are definitely even when it comes to, you know, our give and take,
Okay.
he
Okay.
lost his sister. Yeah, he didn't suffer as much as I did with my dad, of course, but he would go through his periods and where he would lash out or, you know, um didn't want to talk and I had to be okay and
Right.
try to make sure he was okay. So those things happen in life. Or, we haven't ran into this situation, but we know plenty of people who, um, one person is out of a job for a while
Mhm.
and someone has to carry the whole load, you know.
Well, that in my marriage has went both ways at one point. So yeah, it's a
Yeah,
it's a it's a real
yeah.
thing. And not even, Shannon, just death, mourning or life. I mean,
Hmm.
our finances. Sometimes it's just life, right? So, for instance,
Oh, yeah.
when I was writing my book, or starting a long trial at work, or it's my intake week, or even
Mm,
recently negotiating TV deals. Like my husband was left
hmm.
like footing most of the financial costs for all of my projects in these last 2 years, and sometimes
Yeah.
even the housework, Shannon. I can come home with good intentions, like I'm gonna cook dinner, I'm gonna do laundry.
Hmm.
And Shannon, I'm so wired from work and intaking 30 freaking
Yeah.
new cases and getting those put together for the week for trials, or just writing a book and this
Hmm.
chapter needs to be edited. It was a lot, right?
Right.
But the
Yeah.
book, when I was going through the book phase, thank God I was mostly not at this job. Matter of fact, the book was complete. But now I won't go from one phase to another, from writing to now taking on this new position that I have to learn and that I have to, jump into and become great at. It's a
Mhm.
lot. And I would say I'm going to just do laundry. I'm going to do it Saturday because now the week has been too full. Saturday comes and Shannon, all I want to do is sleep because now I'm
Sleep.
beat down from
Yeah.
the week.
Right.
And I could
Right.
tell tensions were rising between us, because I
Mhm.
was busy building a brand and I checked out
Mhm.
a lot, you know.
Right.
But then let's flip that. Years ago, I was the breadwinner, cooking, cleaning, working,
Mhm.
taking care of our newborn, our son who was totally unexpected to us. Dad wasn't prepared. So he had a
Right.
brand new Hayabusa, baby. That was his child. And he was out in these motorcycle streets living his best life, So I had to look at
Uh-huh.
him sideways, like Negro. You
Uh-huh.
you, you realize you got
Yeah.
a kid, a baby in here,
That's
family,
right.
because
That's
he checked
right.
out on his responsibilities. So
Mm.
we both at some point were on different wavelengths, but it wasn't intended to hurt the other person. That just meant it
Mhm.
was a conversation that needed to be had. And thankfully, before any of our stuff gets too bad or got too bad in the past, we were able to sit down and be like, hey, what's happening here? And we were able to
Yeah.
refocus on each other and what we needed. And what we're
Right.
saying here in this episode to you, audience, is just don't let people make it a habit of shortchanging you, no matter who
Exactly.
they are.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't um people will show you who they are and you will show people who you are.
Hmm.
Um and recognize it. And we talked, I think, season one about red flags and how people go
Absolutely.
around collecting red flags and putting them in their pocket instead of, walking away. Um, but the I guess the danger in some of that is you'll have people on the outside looking in, pointing at stuff, saying, "Ooh, girl, I wouldn't put up with that," or "Ooh, man, what's she doing?" So you
Hmm.
have to be careful that it's something that you really can't put up with, or someone is trying to convince you on the outside that you can't put up with this. Because sometimes it's not that serious. It really isn't.
Absolutely.
Um,
It's
yeah,
just
and
like I
it
said, Shannon, it's just a
mhm.
conversation. Sometimes it's just a
Exactly.
conversation.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Because one thing I do deal I deal with my husband, because I'm not the talkative one in the relationship. He's the talker. He's the center of attention. He's the one that got to have the spotlight at all times. But every now and again, as you guys can hear sometimes on the show, I will want to talk. I'll get on a tangent or whatever. But it's not that often. But one thing I have to remind him, when it does happen every, 6 months or 8 months or whatever, let me talk. Because what
That's
he
right.
tends to do is be like, oh, I'm moved on to the next conversation. I'm like, hold up. I'm not
Yeah.
done saying what I'm saying. But he's so used to it being all him that he
Uh-huh.
forgets to let me have a
That I
word or
have a
let
voice
me
too.
let me vent. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
said
have a
I
voice
listen
too.
to him vent.
Opinion.
Right, yeah. I can listen to him vent all day every day, and that's what he does. All day. He has to talk about what they did at his job, what they did. I rarely talk about things with him with my job, mainly because it's not that important to me unless it's something big. And Sean, I'll talk to you a lot, when it comes to
Right.
certain
And when
things
it's a big thing.
about
That's
work.
right.
Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. But his is on a daily. So recently, the company I work for, they had several months of layoffs. And I thought I was going to be in the number, simply because, you know, I'm not in a location where I can go to an office, so I work from home. So they were looking at a lot of the people that are remote, or permanently remote. Um,
Mhm.
there's not an office within, I think the closest office is about 3 hours from my home. So I thought it
Wow.
would be me. And so every time the date would approach for these particular layoffs, I, want to chat about it a little bit. And he would get to the point where, just you can't look to the mirror, just wait and see if it happens. I'm like, of course I gotta wait to see if it's gonna happen, but I just want to chat a little bit about it to say,
I
what do you
just want
think?
to get
Or
it off
start
my
to
chest.
plan. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
so I can
Right.
sleep at night. Yeah.
Right.
So
But my thing is
yeah.
I listen to you every single day. So if I
Yeah.
want to vent about this, then I need you to
Uh-huh.
listen.
Uh-huh.
I get it.
Right.
But
Right.
can I redirect or can I revert back to something you said about red flags? Totally
Yeah.
off the subject of life. But do you remember when Portia from the Housewives first married her husband and I
Oh,
talked about
yeah.
it? Red flags are
Mhm.
not for me. He had red
Mhm.
flags, but girl, they divorcing. Did you hear it?
Oh, are they? No, I didn't hear that. Mm.
Ma'am. And
Oh,
no
wow.
one has given a specific reason. I'm not there. I'm not in
Mm.
their life. I don't like to speculate or judge. I simply want to bring up one thing because you said red flags. It just brought the conversation back to my mind. This video she put out. Oh, his red flags ain't for me. Let me tell you something. That could be so
Yeah.
true, Shannon, because
Mhm.
my husband had a
Mhm.
lot of red flags too, I guess, if you look at it naturally. It has to be the right
Mhm.
person, the
Right.
person God assigned for you. But let me tell
Yep.
you, again, I'm not judging because I'm going to tell you something. Portia is my girl. Love her like a
I
play
know.
cousin.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you took that man, honey, when he was married to somebody else. You
Yeah.
got to be
Yeah.
careful. And then you go and
Mhm.
you say, well, his red flags aren't for me because I was just the one. He was with the wrong woman. Baby. Let
Right.
me tell you something. My mama taught me the same way you get them, most of the time is the same way you lose them.
Yep.
And if his red flags was
Exactly.
flagging for the last wife, they're going to be flagging for you.
Mhm.
Uh,
Right. Right.
but again, not don't know the ins and outs of it. But yes, ma'am, I just want to bring that to your attention
Mhm.
when you said red flags. Usually, when they are
Yeah.
flagged, they flag for a reason. And I guess from
Mhm.
what I'm hearing in the news and social media is he was lying about his wealth. He had several last names. He just basically
Ah.
wasn't who
Oh,
he said he
wow.
was. And I want to just revert to another old school saying. Usually, when something is too good to be true,
To be
Shannon,
true.
it usually
Mhm.
is. It
Yep.
usually is. So we have to
Yep.
wait and see how this thing turns out, Simon. God bless you.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not there, but I'm just telling you. The
Yeah.
streets,
Yeah.
the streets is
Mhm.
those are the street standards of why they're divorcing. But actual fact that she did file for divorce. Ain't that crazy?
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah. And I
And
guess another part of that too is like you said, it was too good to be true. Because a lot of times when
mm-hmm.
you're, going into a relationship in the very beginning, and people will disagree with this, or they really don't see themselves. No one is really real, but you hear people say, "Oh no, I'm real. I'm real. They always gonna get the real me." Uh, that's what you think. But no,
That's right.
it really gets real when stuff goes to the left and you see how
Mm-hmm.
people react when things go to the left. If everything is all polite and everyone's, being careful of each other's feelings and not stepping on toes and walking on eggshells and, oh, I got to be careful what I say about this. No one has seen the real you or you haven't seen the real them. And then when stuff really goes off the rails, you're like, oh, they're crazy or they're calling you crazy. And then someone's out the door. And, it's like, mm, yes, you're going to have a honeymoon period when you first meet someone. Yes, it's going to be all rosy and, you know, uh, everything's beautiful. But
Yes, that
try.
job
I
is going to be the
really
best you ever had the first
Oh,
two
yeah, the
weeks.
first day.
This
Oh my
is
gosh, yeah.
it. This
I
is
love
life.
this job.
That church, that new church. But them people so nice to
Yeah,
me. And then
uh-huh.
you
Oh,
walk
and
up
that
on a
man can
meeting, honey,
preach.
when they pastor say he eat pork, you walk in there and eating the whole pig. But
Exactly.
it's everything at what it seems all the
Yeah.
time. What we're
All
saying, it's not
right,
always what it
right.
seems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you make a good point when you bring up church. So I tried a different church probably about a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
And when I tell you I walked in that building and when I was like, "Oh, this is for me. This is just wonderful." I'm like, "This is the best place I've ever been." And it is for some people, I'm sure. But after I sat there for it took probably a good 3 months, 4 months. And because the pastor had been away, well, he was there initially. Then he had went away to a trip in Costa Rica or somewhere in South America. And then he came back and he really was into, some, I guess, what was given to him while he was away. And I don't want anyone to think badly of me, but he preached against reality TV shows and telling people in his congregation, if you're watching reality TV, you're committing a sin.
Hmm.
He preached about against Disney World. If you take your kids to anything to do with Disney because of their LGBTQ, stance or whatever, if you support them, you're committing a sin. Just stuff to me that I'm like, wait a minute. Not that I've never been to Disney World. Not that that's here or there. But my thing is, I would never tell anybody not to go to Disney World. Where in the Bible? Because I'm very, very Bible based. And if you
Hmm.
can't show it to me in the Word anywhere, and the
You
reason
can't
he
forbid
said
it or preach it.
exactly, it preach it, and the reason he said reality TV shows weren't you were committing a sin watching those is because um you're judging those people. You're either laughing at them or you're looking at them, calling them stupid. You're just sitting around judging. And he says that Christians shouldn't judge. And that's all you can do when you're watching reality TV.
Sir, it's
So
TV. It's entertainment, sir.
it's
You're gonna laugh.
entertainment.
You're gonna laugh or judge or cry when you watch any movie. Are you not? Oh yeah, baby.
That's
I
what
mean, I,
I said.
I, I, I hope you got
So
the hell on. If you didn't,
yeah, I
please
did.
be
I
doing
did. I
so.
said,
Please be doing
okay.
so.
I was like, no. I mean, I like y'all. I like everyone there. You guys are some cool folks, and y'all can jump and clap and shout amen to all of this. But it's just not for me. And not saying you're gonna like everything a pastor says. Even the church I
And
go to
yeah, I
now, there are
was
certain
just
things he
about to,
says
yeah.
that's yeah.
I was
You're
just
like,
about to say, now
nah,
you're not gonna find a perfect church. Now, I'm happy we on that.
no,
But let me
that's
tell you
true.
something. The worst thing you can do is church hop, because let me tell you
That's
something. If
right.
let me
Yeah,
tell you what determines for me. If the word being served, baby, I don't care about nothing else going on, because I know how to go
yeah,
get my word and go
yeah.
right on home.
Oh
But
yeah,
the word
yeah.
has to be being served now. We
Hmm.
can't play with the word.
Right.
And like you said, what he talking
Exactly.
about ain't in the word, so I can't play with you. But I'm happy we brought that up, because we didn't even say, in our initial, we talked about church, family, home, career.
Hmm.
We never mentioned that. Same thing with church. People go, "Oh, I ain't going
That's
back to that
right.
church because they hurt me." Well, somebody get hurt and talked
Mm.
about their job every day. Are you switching
That's
jobs
right.
every week?
Nope.
Honey, go on and get your word and go on home. So please
Mhm.
don't confuse what we're saying here. And I just want to say
Right.
something really quickly, as far as us talking about even relationships. This is this just does not apply to one thing. For those of you who
Mhm.
follow me on social media, I recently started a program called the Great 48. It focuses on redirecting
Yeah.
and engaging youth, that may be on the wrong path, or hanging with the wrong crowd, or just, needing guidance in general. It's no particular
Mhm.
criteria. We just address any need identified. But, anyways, I was asked recently by someone who runs a similar program for young high school ladies, youth, to come and speak for Women History Month on love and relationships. And my final thought, to them was, know your worth and add tags. And that's how we
Mhm.
want everyone here listening to this podcast tonight to move from life from now on. I guarantee you'll feel so much better about yourself. And someone in the
Right.
crowd goes, what does add tax mean? So in case you want to know what that means, here you go. Add tax to me is whatever
Mm.
you think you're worth, God thinks that we're worth 10 times more. Okay. He
Right.
thinks ten times more of us. And
Mhm.
that's why what we walk in doesn't even need to be compared to our own standards. Because Shannon, sometimes we're hard on ourselves. Sometimes
Oh
we judge
yeah,
ourselves
that's
too
true.
harshly.
That's true.
And that's what we need
Mhm.
to walk in, God's vision of us, what he thinks of us, not the
Yeah.
watered down version the world or people even want to give you, because
Right.
people can't see your vision or understand your purpose. And sometimes we can't even see our vision or our purpose. But we just got to keep
Mhm.
walking in we got to keep just walking in what my grandma said again. Well, thus says the Lord.
Yes. Thus says the Lord. Yes.
That's what we got to walk in, guys. So remember that,
Uh-huh.
it's our even season. You got anything else to add,
Mhm.
Shannon, before we wrap it up here?
No, nothing else to add.
All right. Well, we'll wrap up with it. We'll make it short and sweet. Be sure to take our
Yes.
advice, guys, and require people to handle you like the king or queen you are. And like Shannon stated in our conversation, our discussion, don't let people decide who you are. Don't let people take, oh, girl, yeah, man, I wouldn't put up with that, or I couldn't put up with that girl, or your lady single friends tell you, oh, I believe my husband. They ain't got no man.
Yes.
You walk in your own truth. You walk in your own
Mhm.
season. Walk around with the S on your chest. and not conceitedly,
Yes.
but
Mhm.
confidently. Your S can
Right.
stand for saved, it can stand for solid, it can stand for sure, it can stand for show no.
Mhm.
It can stand for any of those words that you'd like it to stand for. But the key is to remember not to allow anyone else to define it for you.
That's right. Amen. Say on, say on.
All right, baby mama. This is the last time this season we're going to bring you guys the audience invite. So let's go.
Go.
All right. Our audience invite song title for last week was John Doe by Public Announcement. Shannon, do you remember that song? Please don't.
No,
Please don't
I
make me
don't.
take you. Oh my
I
God, I'm
don't.
gonna have to take your South car. So you got to come out of the South and go back to South Dakota, baby. Because there's no way you need to be living in the South and not know
Wait a minute.
Public Announcement.
Sing it a little
Who
bit.
is the guy that called you? I don't know. Who is the girl I saw you with? I don't know. You
Mhm.
don't know John Doe Public. Okay,
Oh
now Shannon,
my
you got to go listen
God.
to
What
that.
year was this?
That Oh, it was way back in the day, girl. I think I was in college, but that was my jam. That's
Oh,
the
the
whole point. We got to
90s?
give you, yeah, we
Yeah.
got to give you every
Okay.
genre of it, every.
Yeah.
I tried to bring all flavors. I brought a little country, a little
Mhm.
gospel. So
Yes.
the whole point of this segment was to put some flavor in your ear. And last week's title was "Needy or Greedy." Now, y'all born and raised, y'all city folks, y'all might not know it, but Shannon need to be ashamed of herself being in the South that long. But I'm gonna give her a pass. But any of you other
Well, no,
country
mine, but no, it's not that even. It's in the 90s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I was nothing but hip hop. I can name
Oh, I
every hip
forgot you was
hop
breakdancing.
whatever.
My bad. I forgot you
Yeah,
was
that's
breakdancing.
right.
See, you
I
know
was
me.
popping and
I
locking,
was then.
locking. I wasn't into R&B. You couldn't play any R&B unless it was, had a hip hop flavor like Mary J. Blige, that type of stuff. But
Oh no, baby. I was, then, will always be, will probably die, baby, in love. I love me some love songs. So yeah, I was always heartbroken. And speaking of which, I got some
oh
exciting news
Lord.
about being broken hearted, but we're gonna say that, Shannon. We're gonna say that. See, you was about to let me
Oh
jump ahead of
yes.
myself.
Say that for
But
next
anyways,
week.
I save it for next week. I love love. But anyways, all my peeps from the Tennessee line down to Florida. I bet y'all better know every line. That was my jam, baby. And and there was some realness when I was in them
Mm.
streets, baby. If you don't know, I don't
Yeah.
either. Find you somebody to play with. So you don't know, I don't know. John Doe, y'all go check it out, okay?
Ah,
I thank God for grace. Y'all hear me? I thank God for
you
grace. But
got that
anywho, I'm
right.
saved now.
Yeah.
That took me back a
Yeah.
little bit to my grandma porch, plotting on these ninjas. But
Mm.
if y'all want to know what that song about, had me in the headlock. Go listen to it in its entirety after this episode. And if you're feeling
Right.
that song, or any of the tunes we dropped this season. This is your official invite for our last week to hit us up. Next week, if we have, if you get it, we'll announce it. Also, if you have a segment
Yeah.
idea or a topic you want us to break down next season, you are officially
Mhm.
invited to email us at wifeyandbabymama@gmail.com. That's wifeyandbabymama@gmail.com. All right, baby mama, it's all
Yes.
you.
All right. On to the last segment of our night, the one we like to call the fictional family I am feeling. All right. The fictional family I'm feeling tonight comes from the sitcom The Neighborhood. We've talked about them before, and the family is the Butlers, Calvin and Tina Butler, played by Cedric the Entertainer and Tachina Arnold. So in this particular episode, Calvin, who is Cedric the Entertainer, he has sold his auto repair shop for whatever reason. So because he sold his shop, he's now an unemployed house husband. And he's getting on Tina's nerves, his wife. So
Hmm.
in this episode, she walks in and she says, hey, hun. And he's like, hola, mi amor, because he's watching so much TV. He's learning Spanish and, all these things sitting around the house watching TV and watching cooking shows, watching Lifetime, all this stuff. And so he says, hola, mi amor, guess what I'm cooking? And he says, paella. And for those who don't know, that's a Spanish dish full of seafood and, crusty rice and stuff like that. And he says it's the authentic recipe. We learned it in Barcelona. And she says, well, you could say Barcelona like an American. He says, no, I want to say it like the Barcelonians. Um, and then so she says, okay, well, Calvin, you don't have to make paella every day. I still haven't finished the paella from my lunch paella. And he says, well, you must have had a busy day. Or she says to him, I'm sorry, you must have had a busy day. And he says, oh, yeah, I have. But speaking of getting busy, we haven't done that since this morning. And she ignores him, of course. She's so annoyed with him being in her space all the time now, when she's home. So she's looking through the cabinets in the kitchen. She says, Calvin, where's my favorite mug? And he says, oh, I threw it out. Yeah, I was watching Jennifer Hudson's show this afternoon, and they did a feng shui episode, and the feng shui expert said that you should replace any chipped or broken things in your home. And Tina says, but my mug was not broken or chipped. He says, well, I broke it when I was trying to feng shui the kitchen. And oh, by the way, Magnum PI thinks we should get a reverse mortgage. What do you think? I don't know if you've all seen, it's not really Magnum PI. Well, that's a character he played. What do you think we
Yeah.
should do? And she
Tom
says,
Selleck.
yeah, Tom Selleck, that's right.
Uh-huh.
And she says, Calvin, I know you've had a lot of time on your hands. I hate that you sold the shop, but you got to stop watching daytime TV. How about you just get out of the house? Do something outside of the house. Anything. He says, babe, I'm doing things. I do a lot of stuff. My schedule's full. He said, watch. So he says, Alexa, what's on my calendar for tomorrow? And Alexa says, you have a 3 p.m. haircut. And that's it. And he says, see there? I'm busy. And she says, wait a minute, didn't you get a haircut yesterday? He said, yeah, but I'm a very hairy man. She's like, well, no, instead of just getting your haircut, go play golf. Go do something with the guys. And he says, no, I can't do that. All my friends work. They're all at work. I can't, have nothing to do. He said, wait a minute. Are you trying to get rid of me? She says, no, 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 baby. I just think it's very healthy for a man. I don't think it's healthy. I'm sorry. She said, I don't think it's very healthy or productive for a man just to stay at the house all day watching TV, or his wife might kill him. And he says to her, oh, I just watched a Lifetime movie about that. And you know what? The lady got away with it too. And she's like, okay, as if she's plotting.
Right,
So,
like I'm thinking about it.
right, right. So although he had been the breadwinner for many years, being a shop owner, he's now sitting at home, and of course they end up working it out, of course, because it is, TV, but based on real life, I'm sure as well, because in this situation, I'm sure the wife would not have killed him or let that marriage end. It just goes to show, as we talked about tonight, some things will be uneven at times, but overall,
Absolutely.
it must be in sync when you look at
And it was
the grand
and
scheme
it
of things.
must not be intentional. That's
It
the
must
that's the
not be
key.
intentional.
Yeah, that's the
That's
key to that
right.
scene. He was just bored
Right.
because he sold his shop and had nothing to do. He wasn't saying,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit at home and get on her nerves. But that still doesn't mean
Right.
he wasn't getting on her nerves. So
He
sometimes
wasn't getting
again,
on her nerves.
it's
Yeah.
just a conversation. Great
Yeah.
fictional
And look
family.
at he was making her paella every day. And I'm sure
And
she
he
didn't
was doing
appreciate
his
that.
part. And he was doing his part. That was a
Right.
great
Right.
fictional family to end
Yeah.
our season. But again, remember,
Yeah.
we'll be back with our farewell. But officially, this is our last conversation that we will discuss a official title. We want to thank you all in case
Yes.
you don't join us on the next week. We want to thank you all for this ride on season 3. And we hope you stay around for our farewell so you can hear all the up and coming things that we have going in. If you want to email us and share with us what you'll be doing on your spring break and summer break, hit us up at Wifey and Baby Mama. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes. And once again, as I say every week, thanks to everyone around the globe. We love our international audience as well as our folks here in the States.
Absolutely.
We look
Absolutely.
forward to sharing, our thoughts and lives with you every week. So until next week.
Love you all. Bye.
I'm wifey.